All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. These are our night terrors. This is our shorter format shows, everybody. So hopefully you're all ready for about an hour of paranormal fun. That's what I'm planning to bring you, and hopefully I'll succeed on that. If I don't succeed, just remember you're getting what you paid for. And so far, this is pretty free. So welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a great week. It is Thursday night, and we've got a lot on the board tonight. But before I go any further, I should probably introduce my co-host for the evening, my firstborn son, Mr. Sheldon Thomas. How you doing, buddy?
I almost forgot to unmute. I'm doing great.
Well played, sir. Well played. Remembering that. That's kind of important. We just love the tone of your voice. It's kind of hard to hear when you're muted, but everything going good in Minnesota?
Good so far. Getting chillier. That fall vibe's still in the air. It's going wonderfully.
Yeah, if you like fall vibes and all that. I'm good up to about Halloween, and then I'm ready for spring. No, I don't. I can't say that exactly. I don't mind some snow. Like the first snows and stuff are pretty, but I'm just not much into the whole cold thing. I don't know. And being that I'm not much of a drinker, that doesn't help either. So what do you do?
That'll do it.
Just shiver a bunch, I guess, until spring finds its way to me. But we got a big show tonight. Huge. Ginormic. Is ginormic a word?
Ginormous is.
Oh, is it really? I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Ginormous.
No, I don't think that's a word either.
I don't know. It's the closest thing that made me, from what you were saying, it was the closest word.
Yeah, it might be. Ginormous probably is, yeah. No, that is a word. Ginormous is a word. I'm just kidding with you. I don't know what words are anymore anyway, but we're going to use them as many words as we can to bring you the Paranormal Portal tonight. We're going to go into ghostly encounters, which is a lot of spiritual encounters mostly, but that'll probably take the form of a few articles we've been burning through anyway, and then we got some trail cam terrors lined up for you. This is cool because we've already showcased the location that these tonight's pictures came from, because we were sent some other ones earlier, and these are a new batch that just came in this morning, and it's from a listener who's in Tennessee. Happens to be also related to me, but it's my cousin. He has a house in Tennessee, and he's getting all kinds of weird orbs on his trail cams, and he can't explain what's going on, so we're going to check those out, and I'll refresh your memories of the other ones he sent in as well. So we'll go over those old ones quick, and then we'll go over the new batch. But the activity continues in Tennessee. He's right in the I think he's in the near the Appalachian Trail there. But there's all kinds of haunted, ghostly energy over there, and I don't think it matters probably where you are. There's haunted, ghostly energy, but we're going to check out those on the Trail Cam Terrace tonight. So without further ado, I guess we should get to it. What do you think, Sheldon?
I think that's a good call.
All right. Well, buckle up, everybody, because it's time for bed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now fully and completely underway here on the Paranormal Portal. And remember, if you want to call in and be a part of tonight's show, you sure can. The number is 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. Those are the numbers for fun right here on the portal. If you want to call in and share something ghostly that's happened to you, love to hear from you. That's always an option as the time goes on tonight. Let's do quick shout-outs here. We got Android Purities in the chat. We've got Bobby Simpson. Daryl Zierlin's in there. David Haddesheimer. Good to see you. David Pierce is in there. How you doing, David? Woo! David Zeismer. I think David Pierce, as I recall, is a member of Blue Line Bigfoot. Great friends of the shows. Good to see you, brother. We got David Zeismer, I said. Dream is here. Ethan Seal is here. Kirsten Lee. Maggie Brooks. Maggie M10. Is that right? Yeah. Wow. Maggie. I'm sure I've seen you guys here before, but it's like, hey, you're right next to each other. Lady J. Homestead just popped in. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Patty Troy is here. Portal Mom's here. How you doing, Portal Mom? Rachel gets it right. Richard Elmore. Sheldon, you're here. Sugar Britches is here. Kirsten Lee just came in. Kirsten Leah, thank you for coming in. Good to see you. Did I miss anybody else? I think that's so many. So far, that's the people that are chatting.
Bobby?
Did I not say, what? Did you say Bobby?
Bobby Simpson.
Bobby Simpson. Oh, yeah, he did pop up right under Android at the top there. So good. Good to see you guys. Yeah. No, I don't know if I read that before. I'm saying you're probably right. That's another name that popped up because the list keeps moving. It only gives me the active chatter. So like when people start, oh, hey, I'm here, then boom, the whole list displaces and I'm trying to figure out where it came in. So I get confused. It's way too much stuff going on for my old head. So, but welcome everybody. And thank you so much for being here. And as always, please spread the word. That means a bunch of me. Buzzacino just came in. Good to see you. Mojave Stalker. Yo, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. And Cloud80. Aye. He says, "Oi." Welcome, Cloud80. Good to see you. And if anybody else I missed, I do apologize. We just try, can only do whatever's on the list. So we just say love y'all bunches and let's get to it. I suppose we should start that, huh, Sheldon?
I think that's also a good plan.
Well, good. I'm glad you're in agreement with me about this. Where are we at here? Spooky Shishin. This isn't the one. What the hell is this? Oh. Yeah, I don't think I read that one yet. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out where I am on these lists because we got 2 of them hatched right now. I got to close out one of them because we've been at this for a long time. This doll, the kids, things kids say, and I want to go through the rest of this list. I'm trying to figure out. I'm on 78. Okay. So we're on number 78 of this list of those cute things kids say. And
they just say the darndest things.
Full disclosure, they're not all that cute sometimes. Sometimes they're absolutely disturbing. So, but they're kids, so you got to take it with a grain of salt sometimes. Sometimes you should take it with a grain of therapy because some of these kids are really disturbed. But let's see what they're saying today. What were you going to say?
I like that play on words.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm here all night. All right, number 78 on this list we've been going through from moneymade.com, and it's an aggregated list from Reddit, but they did a good job. This is really cool. And it's Friend at School. It says, when my child was about 4, he started to go to school to a school-style daycare, prepping for kindergarten. He told me one day that there was a girl named Callie in his class who lived in the woods. Didn't think much of it at the time, but a few days later he keeps mentioning Callie and his conversations with her while at school. Since I wanted to know who this new friend was, I asked him if he could show her to me. To which he immediately replied, "No, she's dead." He later explained she died in a fire and couldn't leave the daycare facility. We just shrugged it off as him being weird, and one night at around 9 p.m. he began sobbing hysterically, telling us we needed to get to Kaylee. She was stuck at school. No one could save her. Well, we tried to calm him down, saying maybe her mom would come, and eventually he went to bed. He's 7 now and hasn't mentioned her since leaving the facility. Whoa, that's pretty powerful. Oh. Yikes. You know, you got to wonder. That's kind of interesting. And so obviously we've got to take a leap of faith with this and say, yes, this is a legitimate story, which we don't know. But let's say it is a legitimate story, this is an actual account of some parents talking to their child. And if it is, then there's a little breadcrumb in there. She died in a fire, but she can't leave the daycare. So it does seem that if that is legitimate, that spirit basically told the little boy she's stuck. And why is that? Because you got to wonder, why do they stick around places? Why do they? What is it about those that makes them stuck? And so, what? Go ahead.
If maybe it has to do, I think it does have to do with how spirits that get stuck left this earth type of thing. Like, sure. Maybe it has to do with how much fear that is shooting through them in those moments that they lose some sort of connection to something and they're stuck. They lose their way in a sense. I don't know if fear has to do with that, but like you always hear stories about how like terrible things happen and then all of a sudden this place is haunted, and I wonder if it's a strong enough fear that causes you to lose track of things and become lost in a sense.
Possibly. It's possible. I don't know. I wonder, why would the child not then go to wherever their home was? Or was that the location of their home? Is that the same location and that burned down and so it was built as a daycare later? I don't know. I don't know. It's a million questions, and then there's always the risk that maybe it's not a child spirit at all. Maybe it's something else, that could very well be like, hey, little boy, bring me home.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, so that's the diabolical twist to it. Is if it is indeed an account that's real, is it really a little girl spirit, or is it something else pretending to be a little girl spirit in order to latch onto this little boy? And
they're saying that I'm out of sync in the video, by the way.
You are, and there's not much I can do about it because that's the lag between Skype and running it through so I can get your picture on all these screens. So you're going to have to deal with Sheldon speaking like he's in a Kung Fu movie. Just call him Kung Fu Sheldon.
Do you want me to try and leave and come back into the call? Or is it not that issue?
It's always happened. You've always been lagging ever since we've been using this setup, and I don't know why. But I don't see that improving. So you can try if you want.
Sure, just really quick.
Okay, I'll go to a different screen. Let me know when you're back. I'll try going to a different screen again. Now my thing's stuck. There we go. There is a little lag there. That is true. Even my OBS is lagging. Wow.
Is this any better?
You're quieter. A lot quieter.
Oh.
Yeah. You're a heck of a lot quieter than you were before.
Well, what the heck?
I don't know. That's not much better. Let's see how you line up on the screen here, though. Let's check it out. I'm getting terrible lag from my OBS, actually.
Maybe it's OBS.
It could be. There it goes, finally. I don't know. We might be stuck. I don't even get my mouse moving right now. Something's going on. Are we crashing?
Uh-oh.
I don't know what's going on here. There's my mouse. Okay. Let's see if the chat's working. Is the chat working? Yeah, it seemed to go up right away. Okay. Now talk.
Is this any better?
No, not much. It's just Kung Fu Sheldon, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're going to go with tonight. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm not sure exactly why this is happening or what's actually going on, but we're just going to have to deal with it. I suppose I can try shutting down an app that I'm not using, see if that helps. But
apps.
I got apps here, folks. I be running apps, know what I'm saying? All right, let's get back to the list. Okay, OBS is more responsive now, so that's good. We got through that hiccup, whatever it was. But anyway. Oh, sorry, what?
Oh, no, it's Maggie King Fu Sheldon.
King Fu, he's the King Fu. Sheldon is our Kung Fu star tonight. Number 79, Brotherly Love. My 3-year-old daughter stood next to her newborn brother, looked at him for a while, and then turned to me and said, "Daddy, it's a monster. We should bury it." That's disturbing. Oh. Like I was saying, like _I_was_saying. Yeah, that's creepy. That's not what you want your sibling to say about their little, or your daughter to say about her little baby infant newborn brother. Oh, you might want to supervise that relationship for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know how that one's going to turn out, but that's spooky. Number 80, my son was probably 4 at the time. He's in the car with my mom and stepdad, and he starts talking about my stepdad's father dying. Mind you, I don't know how he died, and my stepdad has never talked about. My son goes into full detail how he was driving through the mountains, and it was really windy road, and it was slippery, and he went off the side of the mountain, and there was blood all over his face and car. At the end of this in-depth explanation, he looks at my stepdad and goes, It must have been really scary for him. Well, my stepdad is super freaked out by it because his dad did die, in fact, because he drove off the side of a mountain while it was raining. Yeesh. Wow. That was by Sierra Barra.
Here's a question for you.
Okay.
It's actually a question I don't think I've asked you before.
Okay.
Do you have a story of me saying anything kind of creepy like in these stories?
No, I don't recall anything.
Oh, I was a boring kid. All right.
Well, I think most people are. Most people are boring kids. That's why these are unusual. It's because they're not normal. Kids don't usually. I mean, kids say silly stuff all the time. You used to talk about your alien friends that lived in the tree, but you know.
I still remember that. Yeah.
That was the only weird stuff that you said. But I never got the feeling that you were actually being legitimately descriptive. I thought you were just being really creative. Yeah. Or did you have alien friends that lived in trees that you remember?
No, it was an empty tree.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's the only weird thing I really remember you telling me that was kind of like, oh, really? Okay, well, let's get to town.
Let's go see the doctor.
Yeah, it's time for your appointment now. But anyway, number 81, keep it moving. My mom tells this story all the time. Apparently it's when I was 3 years old or 3 months old. My parents took me on a road trip to France, and they were supposed to drive all night, but my dad nearly fell asleep at the wheel, so they decided to stop and sleep somewhere. Well, luckily we had an RV, so all we needed to was to find a campsite. After 30 minutes of looking, they were unable to find a campsite nearby, so they decided that a church parking lot would do. At 3 a.m., they drove into the lot, and as soon as they did, I started screaming at the top of my lungs. And up until then, I had been soundly sleeping. They tried everything for an hour, clean diaper, food, walking, rocking. Nothing worked. So, knowing they wouldn't get any sleep, decided to continue the journey. And as soon as they left the parking lot, I stopped, like turning a light switch off. It still creeps them out to this day. That was by In the Hague. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. That's got to be a little bit of a fair warning there. If your kid starts screaming about something, yeah, you probably should leave. They're picking up something, some energy maybe.
Time to go.
Got to give those parents credit though, because most of them would have been, geez, give them some Benadryl or something. No, I'm just kidding. Parents would not do that. Number 82, I talk about dead people. My 4-year-old talks about death a lot. Dead pets, dead family members, weird, but whatever. The one that freaks me out is when she mentions my dead grandma that got shot. We never talk about my husband's mom, who took her own life when my husband was a teenager. I'm a skeptic when it comes to the supernatural, but it makes me wonder. How can you be a skeptic? Okay, that right there should be, I believe now. How do you walk away from that going, yeah, weird, just picked up this random detail that was absolutely right. But I don't believe in that stuff.
Well, people are stubborn.
I know they are stubborn, especially when it comes to someone's paradigm. They are so fiercely defend those things. It's like sometimes you just have to go, yeah, there's really is stuff we don't know. We just don't know what the hell's going on. But that was by Lost My Empathy. I guess so. Oh, hi, Anubis. Told you he'd probably show up.
Hey!
Tonight. He's making his way over to say hi. Mr. Anubis, how are you? How are you, Mr. Meow Meow? Little fuzzy boy. Ladies and gentlemen, Anubis, I don't know if you can see him or not. Let's see.
Not yet.
Let's see if we can see him this way. Hey. Hey, say hi. Yeah, there he is. Can see him on screen a little bit.
There he is.
Yeah,
there's
here.
The king.
The king. Yeah, you got it right. He thinks he owns the place for sure. All right, so let's continue as soon as I can get Mr. Fuzzy out of the way. Hey, can I read some stories? Would you mind? Would you mind if I read some stories, please? What's that? Sure, don't, no problem. Okay. How about we get down?
Okay, time to go.
Yeah, well, he agreed. I don't know if you heard that, but he said, yeah, no problem. And I repeated it just to make sure everybody heard.
Oh, I see.
I speak cat.
Yeah, of course.
Number 83, I'd rather you didn't. My 6-year-old daughter was in the passenger seat a few days ago and looked at me and said, Dad, when I'm 7, I'm going to kill you. No, wait, when I'm 8. I asked, how are you going to do that? She smiled and she said, I'm going to drive over your head with this car.
Okay.
Time for your pills.
Yeah.
That was by Scary Strangle.
Scary strong.
Those kids, the darndest things. No, that's spooky. Ugh. Number 84, shared nightmares. My little brother said he had nightmares where people would look at him through the windows in his room, and that's not the creepy part. That room used to be my room when I was a little kid. When I slept there, I would have identical nightmares of people looking at me from the window and coming out of the walls. I thought it was just me, but maybe not. That's disturbing. That was by Maddie Mo 7.
So cool to me. I mean, it's not cool, but it's cool at the same time.
What
when you have experiences that transcend one generation, that go from 1 to 2 generations, maybe 3. I think that's the coolest thing.
Well, I mean, if anything, it validates the experience more than anything could. You got to wonder, is that a residual thing though, or is that an active intelligent haunting thing? I don't know. But they do have the impression that they're looking at them. So it's not like they're just vacantly staring and coming out of walls, which would be more residual. Like residuals, like the events never really seem to even be aware that there's people around. You know, they just happen. But these do say that there's people coming up to the window and looking at them and then coming out of the walls. So that's really creepy. I wonder if they live by a cemetery or something creepy like that.
Oh, could be that.
Where's them souls coming from, folks? Number 85, low man's voice immediately makes it creepy. My brother told me a few years ago when he woke up in the middle of the night hearing his son crying his eyes out, then a low man's voice saying, "Shh, be quiet," and then silence. He ran into the room and the baby was asleep and no one else was around. Creeped me the heck out. That was by Metalhead 115. Yeah, that'll get your attention.
That'll do it. Yeah.
Number 86. When if I was a quiet kid. Back in 4th grade, we had to read original poems out loud and critique each other. One sorry fella read his, and every line started off with "if I was a bird." It went something like this: if I was a bird, I would live in a tree. If I was a bird, I would fly to school. If I was a bird, etc. A few people offered some words of polite and constructive criticism. Then the teacher called on the quiet, creepy kid for his opinion. Out of the clear blue sky, he suddenly said, "If I was a bird, I would poop on all of you." It was the first and last time we heard him talk. It was kind of funny, but something wasn't right with that kid.
Jeez.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, he must be a lot of fun at parties. Irwin Legends wrote that one. All right, number 87. You ready, Sheldon?
Oh, yeah.
I was vacationing at a big cabin in the mountains for a week for a family reunion. All right. Reunion. And when I heard the most blood-curdling scream, it was horrible. I've never heard a sound quite like it since. It sounded like an animal caught in a trap. But it was human. It was my 2-year-old niece. I raced out of the hallway to see my niece running towards me, face contorted in horror. She leaped into my arms and screamed, "Run, baby, eyes, run, run." She was shaking like a leaf, but clawing my neck and clothes, trying to get me to run. At one point, she pointed down the empty hallway, still screaming about eyes, but there were no windows, just a locked door, a blank hallway. But then the rest of the family had come crowding around to see what was going on. I couldn't explain it, and neither could she, just baby, eyes, baby. And then she'd melt down all over again. This happened 2 more times during our stay. Eventually, the family came up with their own explanation that she must have seen one of her cousins sleeping upstairs and gotten scared by the blanket moving. They treat it like a joke now, but I was the only real witness all 3 times, though, and I can tell you that is not what freaked her out. I'm not sure what it was, but it wasn't another child. Yeesh. Oh, poor kid. That was by Terrier. Instead of derriere, it's a terrier. Okay. Number 88, watcher at the bed. My oldest daughter usually stands beside my bed at night. When she was 5 years old, she already had a long black hair. The creepy part was that she just stood there, not even trying to wake me or my wife. She was just standing there for 2 or 3 hours watching us. When she finished looking at us, she'd just go back to her bed and sleep like nothing happened. That was a really creepy time of my life. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night because an urgent need to pee and looking directly at her eyes. Yeah, yeah. Nope. That was by Ray Barone.
Just sleepwalking, though.
Could be just something innocent like that. Like, I don't know. It's hard to know.
Yeah, it is.
Sleepwalking is a weird thing, but just to stand there for hours. Why would you let your kids stand there for hours? Be like, oh, let's get you back to bed. Pick her up and take her into her bed. What if you went to take her to bed, picked her up, was carrying her in there, and then you found she was already asleep?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That might reset your cardiac rhythm.
That's a horror movie right there.
I'm just saying they never did, apparently. So what maybe it was a doppelganger.
Yeah.
Oh, look, she's sleeping so cute. Well, anyway, number 89, importance of accessorizing. My daughter loves her Auntie Kate, but one day she took it too far. I heard her whisper to her cousin, my Auntie Kate's eyes are so pretty, I want to pluck them out and wear them on my charm bracelet. Yeah. That's still kind of innocent, though. It's creepy, but it's kind of innocent because, I don't know, to them it's a beautiful pattern. I don't think they think about the fact that they'd have to pry those eyeballs out of somebody's head and they can't see anymore. Or
yeah,
really,
that's true.
They think of people like we're just like Legos, really, or something. Just pop off a block and it's fine.
Just pop out someone's eye.
Yeah.
In a sense, I mean, we're all just things put together.
We are. We're just stacked bricks here. Here's a little longer one, it looks like, but it's number 90, taking fandom too far. I was the worst kind of Naruto fan growing up. The worst. And I had an outlet on the internet. At 13 years old, I started a chat room for other Naruto fans, specifically centered around Joshinism. Oh, okay. For those of you who never went through a Naruto phase, Joshinism is a fake religion based on the idea of voodoo centered around slaughter. As an edgy 13-year-old with no sense of social boundaries, of course, this drew my attention. I wanted to share it with the world, so I made a fake prayer and some fake commandments and centered my take on Joshinism around the balance of life and death and understanding pain, as much as a traumatized 13-year-old can. Well, it gained traction, like a lot of traction. People made a website. They started asking me for spiritual advice, wanted to donate money, wanted to build an actual church. It started to get kind of scary, so I got out. I backed way off and pretended it never happened. I can't find the website anymore, so I'm pretty sure it got taken down by whoever made it. Excuse me. Anyway, I was thinking about the chat room. After I'd grown up and gone to therapy, I realized I kind of started a cult centered around the Naruto-based fictional religion. Whoops. Never promoted the idea of hurting yourself or others, though. Made it very clear I wasn't about that, but people really got into the idea of understanding pain and being understood. Yeah, that's creepy. Yeesh. I think that sometimes there's a lot of people out there that just, they need something to believe in. They just want to latch onto something. Everybody wants to belong. It's just kind of a need that we have. Like if you think about it, it kind of makes sense because for time immemorial, we needed to be accepted in order to survive. When our ancestors were grinding out a living on this wild planet, before there were lots of cities or modern conveniences, everything depended upon being accepted. And so it really is built into us, I suppose, on a primal level to get acceptance. And even though now those needs have become more cosmetic than anything, like wearing the right clothes or using the right behaviors or mannerisms or something, it's it's become a cosmetic thing, but it's still, people are the same, I think, on a fundamental level. Like, we need to belong. So there are those people out there that are disaffected. They don't belong to anything, but they want to. And so, people are in dark places, so they sometimes get an attraction to the dark things that they find. So it makes sense that you could invent a religion pretty easily, and you could probably fill it up pretty quickly, because there's a lot of disaffected people in there that feel like they're the square pegs and there's a bunch of round holes. So
I mean, there are people believe in the spaghetti monster.
oh yeah. Well, I don't know how much they actually believe, but it's out there. I know what you mean. It's out there. But I think sometimes those things just become a convenient counterculture. They just do it because it's weird and different. But
it could be satire too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, yep, there you go. But I guess, that's kind of weird. Kind of true, though. Kind of makes you understand how there could be cults in the first place. Like, there's people that need to belong. They need to feel like they're part of something. And it's, again, I think, a very primal urge for all of us to belong. But I think the real key is finding out where you belong in yourself. Like your own self-acceptance. Once you have that, you don't need the club so much.
True.
Number 91, night terrors. What?
Oh, ooh.
Whoa. It was like magic.
It's made for us.
I never told a soul that there was one point in my life where I was deathly afraid of my sweet young child. Oof. When he was about 5 years old, he started having nightmares. His eyes would be wide open, and he would stare into an abyss of his own invention and scream with the chilling ferocity of hell itself. I would hold on and rock this rigid little body until he loosened back to sweaty, deep sleep. But I never forgot that terror. Yeah, that's creepy, but at least, I mean, even though she was terrified, at least she still held that little child. Jeez. That was by Suze QP.
Huh. You ever have those like nightmares where you know you're sleeping and you want to wake up and get out of there as fast, but you cannot wake up?
I've had nightmares you wouldn't believe. I'll just leave it there because I try to keep the show light, but I've had some dark, twisted nightmares where I was in a death loop, and it felt like weeks that I was just in this death loop, and it would keep going. And once it happened, I would be right back at the beginning again. And then I'd have to go through this whole chain of events again, knowing what was coming and not being able to stop it. And once I was at the end again, boom, back to the beginning. And it looped over and over and over. And it was the most hellish thing I've ever experienced, or one of the most hellish things I've ever experienced. I don't know what the hell it was, but it was agonizing. It was terrible.
Sounds like you were under some genjutsu.
Kagibunshin no jutsu. No, I don't know what it was. It was really dark, though. It was really dark and twisted. It really made me think, is there something evil tormenting me? And this was years and years ago, but I don't think I was much more than 17 or 18 years old at the time, but it was horrible. It was absolutely, I didn't have the physical pain from the whole dying thing, but I still was like panicking every time. It was like, and seeing everything fading out, and all of a sudden, boom, back to the beginning. It's like,
the craziest dreams.
Oh man, that was horrible. That was absolutely horrible. Don't know what it meant. Still don't know what it means. It never happened again. At least not that way. I've had other dreams where, again, when I was younger, it was actually, maybe it was a little earlier. Maybe it was like 17 years old. But I think, I don't know. It's weird. I had a few of them around that time, but that was the worst one. And it's about the most creepy dream. If I ever told you the narrative of it, you'd be like, ugh. It was just really twisted. But anyway.
Yeah, that's weird how it's like, you just reminded me of this, that I've only had, I think I've only had this kind of dream once, where it lasts, like, you're literally in this dream for days. Like, you remember, like, going to sleep in the dream, and you're waking up the next day and doing this, and then, like, it's the craziest experience.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I've had some dreams that there's only a couple of times in my life, or a few times in my life, but I've had some dreams where I swear it was like a lifetime, like watching weeks of an experience, and then finally waking up and just feeling like, oh my God, how long was I asleep? and just realizing it was 8 hours, just like normal or whatever. But it felt like weeks, being asleep and being in this event. There's another one that was much longer too, and it's another really weird one. It's hard to put these things into words, but then again, I don't know what dreams are, but I think there are the garbage dreams that are just junk stuff in your head, and you end up having stupid, silly dreams. But I think some other dreams might be glimpses into a multi-dimensional version of ourselves, like possibly other lifetimes, possibly other experiences, maybe, who knows. But yeah, I just think it's really profound.
Yeah.
Dreams can be incredibly profound, and they can be incredibly stupid. And there's this whole barometer in between of sometimes they have merit and sometimes they're just garbage. Number 92, go fish. When I was a kid, my mom had a friend and her son over. He disappeared for 10 minutes. I thought he was in the bathroom, so I went when he came back, and on my way there, I noticed the fish tank in the hallway was strangely murky. At first glance, I didn't know what it was until, to my horror, I noticed smashed and ripped apart pieces of little fish faces moving around in the swirl. The kid had reached into the fish tank and squeezed the ever-loving life out of every single fish. Oof.
Okay.
That's a keeper.
Time to go see a psychologist.
Yeah.
Thank God.
There you go. Don't get him a puppy. That's all I'm saying.
No.
That's creepy. Very creepy. But that concludes this list finally, ladies and gentlemen. We made it through it finally. That was a good list, though. I think that's really interesting because some of them are very, very clearly look like paranormal events. Others just look like really disturbed future serial killers. And and others just weird, but and the whole spectrum of them. So that was a really cool, real cool list. They did a good job. Again, that was moneymade.com. Put that list together, and nice job, people at Moneymade. Well played. I liked it. I liked it. Did you like it, Sheldon?
Well, I don't know if I liked it is the right phrasing.
Okay, well, you know what I mean, though.
It was very interesting.
It was very interesting. I agree. I found this, and this is a quick article. And I think this is a good place to go from this because we're talking about ghostly contact. Oftentimes, I think many of us yearn, and I haven't looked at this list yet at all. It comes from Gaia.com, from the subscription service Gaia, where you can watch all these different programs and stuff. And some of them look awesome. I'd love to watch that channel. I don't have it currently, but for those of you out there that do, it looks like it's a cool channel. So let me know if it's worth the investment. And someday I might actually do that if I can sit down and watch TV. But I know that a lot of us are looking for a connection to the people that we love, that we've lost. And it's, something we all yearn for. And some of us have had that connection in the form of dreams or other ways. But I think that it can be a really key part of healing after the desperate loss of someone you love. And it's a horrible pain and emptiness to live through. But this article claims to show some ways that loved ones in spirit are trying to contact you. So I thought, well, that sounds kind of cool. Let's see what it has to say, because I don't think there's many people in our world that haven't had that loss and are looking for that connection with the loved one that they lost. So how about we get into that, Sheldon?
I think that is a fantastic idea.
Okay, let's check it out. Again, this is Gaia.com. 4 ways your loved ones in spirit are trying to contact you. And this was written by Melanie Jade Rummel, October 2nd of 2020. And so it looks like a cool article. So let's check it out. I thought this could be very instructive to some of us out there, including myself. I don't claim to pretend to know anything for sure. I have a lot of ideas about things, but I may be completely wrong. But let's check it out and see what this person is saying in this article. It says, dealing with the death of a loved one can be difficult. As a medium who communicates with spirits, I know that the smallest message or sign from a loved one in spirit can mean the world. Your loved ones in spirit have several ways to get messages to you, but their messages are subtle, so you may overlook or discount them if you don't know what to look for. Oh, good. That's good. I'm glad we're reading this. When a loved one dies, do they visit you? There are countless cases of loved ones contacting their living counterparts after they've passed on, or in some cases while they've been clinically dead, before being brought back to life. In one instance, recounted by Dr. Raymond Moody, the researcher who coined the phrase near-death experience. I love his books. If you ever get a chance, read Dr. Raymond Moody's books on near-death experiences. He did a phenomenal job, and he did a lot with kids as well, and just really cool. A surgeon, he wrote the book on, or coined the term near-death experience, or NDE. A surgeon once told him that while operating on a young man, his patient went into cardiac arrest. Believing he had lost the patient, the man's wife burst into the room screaming that her husband had visited her in the waiting room and told her the doctor thought he was dead, but that he was still alive and still able to be saved. The surgeon immediately began to perform resuscitation techniques and brought the patient back to life. Wow, there's actually a full story to that. I should click on that to read another time. I'll take a look at it later. But the after-death communication is very common soon after a loved one passes away. And while everyone's loved ones have different ways of communicating this, the signs we see are usually more than sheer coincidence. When looking for the sign of a loved one visiting or communicating to you after they pass, think of things from their life that they had a predilection for, whether that's a particular animal, flower, or song. These personal affections typically appear in their attempts to reach you, and rightfully so. So think of what they loved. If it's coming to you over and over, that's probably your loved one. If there's one thing you'd associate strongly with them, it's sure to stand out. Oh, look at that. There's a legacy, Raymond Moody, Spirits of Departed Loved Ones. Cool.
Wow.
That's cool. Here we go. And when looking for signs from the other side, it can help to reminisce on the life and accomplishments of the loved one who passed. Thinking back on their life and the things they did or were interested in might help clue you in to some of the ways they may try to reach you. If you aren't entirely familiar with certain periods of their life, doing some research by reconnecting with other family members or digging through their memorabilia may provide more insights into their passions. Knowing more about these passions will allow them to connect with you easier. Here are 4 common ways your deceased loved ones in spirit may be trying to contact you. Visitation dreams. That's the most common one I've had. When your loved ones visit in a dream, it will feel peaceful and more real than a typical dream. Instead of just watching your dream like a movie, you'll be able to control what you do and say. My grandfather was a jazz drummer in one of my dreams, and I suddenly realized I was hearing drums. And then I saw my grandfather playing the drums and smiling at me. His eyes sparkled, and I felt filled with love and peace. He waved to me, and then I woke up. It's common to wake up after you've received a message from your loved ones. So if you suddenly wake up in the middle of the night, try to remember what you were dreaming about. Jeez, that would be several times for me. I must be busy at night. To make it easier for your loved ones to visit you in dreams, start paying attention to your dreams and writing them down. Have a notebook and pen by your bed, and let your loved ones know before you go to sleep that you'd like a visit from them. Electric phenomena. Hold on. Electricity is easy for spirits to manipulate. Well, I'm glad to see they said that, because I've often thought that. Recently, my husband and I were celebrating our wedding anniversary, and we were thinking of our loved ones in spirit, and just as we clinked our champagne glasses in a toast, the lights near us started flickering. I knew our loved ones in spirit were joining our celebration. When you're thinking of your loved ones or celebrating a family event, watch out for lights flickering, strange phone calls, uncanny songs that come up on a playlist, a stereo suddenly turning on or playing a loved one's favorite song, or phones or other electronics malfunctioning in ways that can't be fully explained logically. It might be a little hello from your loved ones in spirits. Signs. A million different events happen in your day, and none of them stand out to you. When a seemingly benign event suddenly grabs your attention and makes you question if it's a sign from your loved one in spirit, it probably is. Before my husband's great aunt passed away, she told me that butterflies were her symbol from being free from the physical body. A few days after she passed, I was watching a television show where the main character had just given birth, and it stood out to me that the walls in the nursery were painted with butterflies. They named the baby Elle, which is short for Elizabeth. It's Mark's great aunt's name was Elizabeth, and I knew this was her way of saying hello to us. Most signs are subtle. You probably won't get a marching band come into your house with a sign that reads, "Mom says hi." It's much more likely that when you're thinking about your mother, a picture of her falls off the wall, a dove with white feathers flies by, somebody gives you a bouquet of your favorite flowers or of her favorite flowers, or you stumble upon a card from her that you'd forgotten about. It may not be a specific sign that you asked for, but if you suddenly wonder if it's a sign and think of your loved one, it's a sign. You might see I should probably read the heading first. You might see someone who looks just like your loved one. It will look as if your loved one's image was superimposed on another person's face or body. One of my clients was walking in a park one day when she smelled her grandmother's perfume. She turned and saw a woman on a bicycle smiling and waving as she rode by, but instead of the woman's face, she saw her grandmother's. Oh, cool. Another way your loved one in spirit can say hello is by appearing in the dream of a friend or family member. When your best friend or family member tells you about their experience, you might wonder why your loved one in spirit didn't come directly to you. If you're experiencing a lot of grief over a loved one's passing, it may be difficult for you to recognize a direct message from them, so they will send you messages through people who are close to you. They're just letting you know that they are okay. It's also possible to get in touch with a deceased loved one through a psychic medium, empaths, tarot readers, or some other person who is gifted with mediumship. Looking into a medium that is able to provide you with a numerology reading around your loved one's past life can also help. Though it's always good to exercise caution and fully vet this person, as there are unfortunately charlatans out there. Yeah, well, we've got Deb, so we're okay. We know. Yeah. Seeking comfort. During the grieving process, it's necessary to seek comfort in whatever it is that can bring it to you, whether that means reaching out to your spirit guides, guardian angel, family members, or a mental health professional, or the solitude of being with your inner self. It's natural to find a way to ease the pain. Whether you're grieving over a deceased friend, dead relative, or dead loved one, it's okay to seek comfort anywhere you can, as long as that which is comforting you isn't self-destructive or addictive. Now you know 4 common ways your loved ones in spirit can contact you. Be on the lookout for the signs and messages from them. So that's very cool. It says she's a medium who shares positive, loving messages from spirit guides and loved ones who have passed. So she's like Deb. Very cool. Yeah, it's a good article. I think that's cool. I think another one is, of course, smells. If you ever smell a smell that just brings you back to a point in time where, you know, a loved one, like there's one smell that I get every once in a while, and it was the smell that I'm talking about comes from, well, she was my cousin, but she was more like my aunt or like another mom. She's Marilyn. She was a wonderful presence in my life, but I always loved going out and visiting her and her family in Michigan. And there was a certain smell of their house that I always loved. And it was unique to them because everywhere they lived always had this same really pleasant smell. And I always loved that. And it made me feel really comfortable and at home. Well, there's times still where I'll be, even in this house that doesn't have that smell, and suddenly that smell will fill my nose and I'll know. It's like, oh, must be Marilyn here. She must be stopping in to saying hi. And it's really cool. It's just a neat feeling. So I would watch out for smells as well as sounds, sights, anything. Even a sensation of a touch. If you feel like a warmth on you, it could be your loved one touching you and, letting you know they're there. So pay attention to all those things. I think that there's a lot of merit to that. I do think that they're around us. I don't think that they're, just gone. We perceive them as gone, but that's because we have very limited vision. They're not gone. There is no creating or destroying energy. Energy just simply changes form. It's basic physics, right?
Yep. Science says that. That's true.
Yep. So,
I mean, even serendipitous events, like you're thinking about someone who passed and all of a sudden, during your regular day to day, you see something that reminds you of them. That could be a sign in itself.
Right. Or that's them acknowledging that they can tell you're thinking of them, like you're basically calling them in a sense when you're reflecting on them and reaching out with your heart, because there isn't really space. Like, we perceive space, but space is an illusion. Like, it's all just energy. And so energy is instantaneous. There's no distance from here to anywhere. It's just a perceived distance because of our ability to perceive the construct of the world we live in. But, I don't know. Anyway, for whatever case, I hope that helps somebody out there that needed to hear it. I think it's a beautiful message, a beautiful article, and I hope somebody needed it. So,
yeah, hopefully we could have been the serendipitous message for someone.
Yeah, well, I hope so. That would be really cool. Like, there might be someone out there that needed to hear that, and they were like, "Oh, cool, thanks. That helps me because I know they visited." So at any rate, I'm going to leave that one open because I want to check out that link to that full story of that doctor doing the surgery, losing the patient, and then the mom burst in and go, "Wait, my dead husband came and visited me and said you need to save him. He's still alive." I got to give the doctor credit for not just giving her a shot and calling it a day, because he had he had to acquiesce to that request and started CPR and ended up bringing the guy back to life. Very cool. All right, so that brings us up to, ladies and gentlemen, our trail cam terrors.
All right.
Are you ready, Sheldon?
Always.
Okay, well, let's get into the trail cam terrors. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, indeed. Welcome to the Trail Cam Terrors. This is a segment at the tail end of our Night Terrors episodes, and these are a segment that I put together to kind of go over photographic or video evidence people have submitted regarding, generally it started out with trail cams because there's hundreds dozens anyway, of decent trail cam photos out there in the internet that may very well show paranormal events that were captured. There's also thousands of garbage ones out there, but there's a few that we've covered that may be legitimate. They also, it's anybody's guess, of course, but I think they might be. But we're going to go through these. Again, I'm talking about some images that were sent to me from my cousin in Tennessee, owns a house and has trail cams up around his house. He lives just on the edge of a forest on a mountain, and has a lot of things going on there. And we're going to go through his older pictures first, because I want you guys to see these just to, jog your memory a little bit. And we'll get into the new ones that he sent, which I think are pretty profound and involve orbs. But anyway, let's go to this. And this is the first one that he sent. And this is some trail cam images. He's got a trail cam set up. It's a real nice trail cam. It's just auto triggered, and it emails him the photos, or it tags him in a message on his phone. But you see he's got these weird anomalies that are coming through the frame. And there's one without anything, but this one was here. And then there's one down here, but he said there's this weird mist. And the funny thing is that what he's found is that on most of the photos that he's getting, this weird mist isn't there. Like when he gets normal triggers from like a fox or a deer or something coming by the trail cam, it's just the woods. He doesn't have this haze. But when he gets the weird ones, there's always this haze present. So you got to wonder if that's part of the event as well. Like it's part of whatever these orbs are. This, in this case, this weird light anomaly, which, could it be a bug? I don't know. It's possible. But if you look at the photos, they're all 12:46 a.m. But there's three, and these are all taken within a second. It's 3 frames in about a second time, as I understand it, or a second and a half. So if this was an insect, it would be present on at least one of these other pictures, but it's not.
Yeah. Well, wait a second. Okay. So the second picture... Oh, no, never mind. No, it's there on the third one. Never mind.
Yeah, and the third one's chopped off, and he just framed in what he thought was important. So that's the first one that he sent in. This is before. He had sent this one in before. Here's the next one, and this is weird because he said he's captured plenty of coyotes running by at full speed, deer running by at full speed, and they're not like this. But again, here's this haze that he talked about in all of them. This is apparently a very local phenomena that people call the devil dog, and then it's the location. I can't remember the location. It's basically the name of the road in front of his house. But all of his neighbors have seen this weird, ghostly, canine creature that has allegedly red glowing eyes. And he actually caught it on his trail cam. And he says it's about the size of a small wolf, but bigger than a coyote by where it's marking on the trees. He said this is looking downhill, so you have to keep that in mind. This is actually, it's not a level plane. We're not looking at a level plane. This is mounted looking down the hill. So it's actually bigger than it might appear, but he said it's a really big anomaly. But he said in the full speed, other animals running, it's not this foggy, wispy thing. It's clear, crisp focus, even if they're running. So he's absolutely boggled by this. But and I agree. This doesn't look like your normal run of the mill animal capture. But at any rate, that was the most profound one I think he's ever had, has ever captured anyway. And that's another one. What?
Sorry, just to understand. So whenever like deer or coyote or whatever are running by, there's no distortion, even when they're sprinting by.
No, he said he's got them in a full run before, and I've told him next time he gets one, send it, because it would be great to show that side to side. But he said there's none of this fuzziness. It's real crisp, like even if it's in full run. But you can see that at some parts of this, it almost looks almost translucent, like on this back leg here. It's almost not there. The front leg is here stretching, and these this is the bent foreleg. But if could it be something else? Maybe, but you can see it's actually behind these sticks, so it's not some anomaly that's actually closer to the lens. Like it could, a lot of times you get these things that go by and it's like, oh well, that's definitely like something right in front of the lens. But this is, you can see behind the sticks, but yet blocking out the trees. So
yeah.
It's very strange, and that was a fantastic capture that he got. And there's this one, which is just a series of this light anomalies here. That this one isn't the greatest one, but he's got 3 cameras around his property, and here's an orb that he captured. And I don't know if there was more of this one or not. I think so. There's the orb moving out of 3 pictures. So let's go backwards again and see.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. So it's not like it's something nailed to a branch or a tree out there, a reflector. It's literally got motion to it in those 3 frames. So that's the first ones that he sent. And now he sent some new ones, which include some more orb shots. And this is the first ones that are coming up here. And I don't know. Now, to be honest with you, I don't know what these are. These little things here, it looks like a snowflake kind of thing. They appear in other photos all by themselves without the stick thing there. Now, the stick thing may be just a good breeze whipped up some grass clippings or something. And so that's possible. Like if there's a breeze, might have knocked up some grass clippings. But these other things appear in other of these photos. And I want to show them to you. But here's another one of those stick things closer to the camera lens. And then there's this one, which is like a combination of the stick thing and this anomaly. I don't think they're the same thing. Is this moving outward and then this appeared? I don't know. I tend to believe that they're 2 different sticks. But so that's it for this first series, is that weird couple anomalies. But
you know what? Since it's fall,
yeah,
could it be even a tree branch stick falling from the tree?
Yeah, but it would have to be consistently falling in 2 pictures, and it should be about through the frame if it's falling at free fall speed down to the ground. It should be like on the bottom of the frame if it's the same stick in both pictures, but they're both at about the same level from the the size of the frame. Here's another couple and this one's weird because this one's going this way. It almost looks geometric. This one is across the bottom. This one is up at a 45-degree angle this way. This is about a 20-degree angle this way. And this one is flat on top. This one is flat. So this one I thought was really interesting because What are
That's
the odds?
bizarre.
What are the odds that you would get something so geometrically framed? And I don't know. It's pretty cool. But the
Could be
one,
Murphy's Law.
the next one is this. Like what?
Rachel earlier said, could from the spectral dog picture, could the mist be a manifestation of non-Earth air that is drifting through a portal and creating and reacting to the chemistry of our planet Earth air?
It's if there is indeed a portal there, sure, I suppose, but I don't think it would make such a close to a canid shape, along with the local legend of this devil dog as well. So there's a couple factors that lead me to believe it could be something from another dimension, but I do think it's actually a spiritual cryptid of some kind that's existing there. And the fact that his neighbors have lost chickens, and there's lots of that kind of stuff going on. Between the shape of it on the frame and knowing the local legend of that's two pretty key factors that are working together that seem to indicate. I'm just, I'm only making an assumption, but the shape of it is more than passingly canid and canine. It's got a very canine shape to it. It doesn't look like a normal deer or other ungulate. It looks canine, just in the stature, the tail, and so the head even. And we can go back and look at that again. It doesn't look like any other animal. And then having the local legend of this creature that people are seeing, experiencing, and apparently losing their animals to, is really pretty curious. But it's anybody's guess. I mean, I can only guess, and your ideas are just as valid as mine. So don't take that as a critique at all. I mean, I love that.
Oh, for sure.
Here's a really good one, and look at how bright that flash is. He said that this is on his driveway. Now nothing came up because the other frame, of course, is empty. This is the same view. I think this is the same view. I don't know for sure, but he said that whatever this was actually tripped a motion sensor as well that he has. So it actually appeared as this bright flash momentarily and actually tripped a motion sensor that he has out there. So that is an incredible bright flash. I don't know.
It actually looks like it's from the same angle and picture, because you see that line that's in the middle of the screen is consistent in both pictures.
Oh yeah, this. Yep, you're right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it does. I wasn't quite sure because of the way. What are these? These are more of those streaks then, aren't they? These are more of those streaks. Sure it is. Okay. I wasn't sure what these were, but now when you look at the other things in there, yeah, I guess it's very unusual though.
Yeah.
These are what he's capturing, ladies and gentlemen, and I do plan on making a trip to Tennessee to check all this out, because it's probably going to be maybe early next year. But I want to go check this out. If we get really close in, you can see those little anomalies. Whatever they are, they're just almost like sparks. What is this? There's actually you see that?
I was looking at that before, and I was thinking, I don't understand where that's coming. Those little lines are coming from.
I don't either. I'm not sure.
And then there's a little black dot in there somehow.
That's what I'm talking about. Can you see that? That's the black dot is what's strange. It's a screenshot, so it's an electronic capture of this. Is there anything on the lens in this one?
Yeah, like one, I don't know.
Like a bad pixel or something, but I don't see any really.
So comparing with the second one with the first one, looking at the second one, where would the light be coming from? As far as position?
Looks like it's dead in front of the frame. Like it's an orb that was right in front of the camera. I mean, it's what it looks like to me. This is here in both frames, though. Do you see that? This thing here, this light bar coming out from the left side of the frame. And
that's what I was talking about earlier.
Oh, right. Okay, yep. I thought you were talking about the lines on the ground, meaning that dark spot. But that's in both frames. Now, which one was first? That's actually several minutes apart, though. This is 7:11 a.m. and this is 8:59 p.m. And they're a day apart as well. Huh.
Oh,
So this is the
So-
newer frame. This was this morning. Okay. This is the fourth.
oh,
Fourth today, yeah.
that's a little harder then because I don't know. It could have been a car took a wrong turn for all we know. I don't, it's with just that bit of information right there that they're minutes apart. There's no way to really validate.
Well, no, I'm sure it's not that because this isn't actually pointing. I don't think this is pointing down his driveway towards the road.
Oh yeah, I see the road. Never mind. Never mind. I see. Okay.
This
My
is
bad.
actually his driveway coming in, and this is
Right.
looking over at. There's a building over here, so I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to go check all this stuff out, but it's pretty exciting stuff. I think it's pretty cool.
Overall, that's a really interesting capture.
Yeah, well, especially when you consider the amount of captures he's gotten so far. He actually caught what might be a Bigfoot a long time ago, but I told him it's really going to be hard to make any judgments off of it because it was very distant and it was moving. But he said the way it was moving and the positioning of it, it was huge. So now, again, it's the Appalachian Trail. So there's lots of Bigfoot reports on the Appalachian Trail. And he's heard wood knocks and stuff around the house as well. So that's also a part of his experience over there. So, but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, these have been the Trail Cam Terrors. Very cool, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I realize it's maybe not as interesting to everybody else as it is to me, but I find that stuff just fascinating, and I'm excited about the fact that I will have a chance to go check this out in person. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
To really look into what's going on over there, at least get some experience going through there. But anyway, it's anybody's guess, of course.
Yeah, maybe you'll come home with a trail cam terror.
Well, let's hope I come home. That's all I got to say. I don't know what's going on over there. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to conclude our journey into the Paranormal Portal Night Terrors tonight. Hope you all had a great time. Thank you so much for being a part of the journey, as always. And Mr. Sheldon, you got something for the crowds?
As always, if you guys haven't joined yet, we have an awesome Discord here linked in the chat that you can join, stay more connected to us, look at all the wonderful links and things that we find and send to each other. Ask us any question you'd like. The link is in the chat.
Get involved, folks. We got us a Discord. Yeah. Love a good Discord. Everybody loves a good Discord, right, Sheldon?
I would hope so, at least.
All right, folks. Well, that's all I got for you, too. Again, we'll be back tomorrow night for the Friday night fun fest that is the Paranormal Portal 2-hour show. So we'll be looking for you there. I hope you guys will all make it. Again, we do live shows Wednesday through Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here on YouTube. So we'd love to have you check it out. And also, please, those of you here, go over and check out our Paranormal Portal Pieces channel. It's a new channel that we started that takes our 2-hour episodes, and Sheldon's been working really hard taking segments from the 2-hour episodes and making smaller videos, little bite-sized chunks of those videos to let people know what's going on our channel. And that, again, is on YouTube, Paranormal Portal Pieces. We'd love to have you check out that. And let me get a link. Hold on a second here. I'll get a link to that. Maybe I will.
I was just about to start doing that. Yep, good idea.
I'm going to put a link in here so you guys can get all linked in. Ba-dum-bum. See what I did there? Here's the Paranormal Portal Pieces, folks. We'd love to have you get over there and get involved. It's a brand new channel, so it's in its baby phase right now, but I'm going to be uploading another video in just a little bit to complement the last one that we put up, which is an interview that we did with James Bobo Fay of Finding Bigfoot fame and, of course, the Bigfoot and Beyond podcast that he does with Cliff Barrickman. So that's going to be coming up again. There's one up there already from the Bobo incident. We got two of them up from Vic Cundiff episodes, and we've got 3 of them up from our interview with Linda Godfrey. So I'm going to put up the new Bobo episode one tonight. The first one went up on Tuesday. So we do uploads over there every Tuesday and Thursday. There should be a new Paranormal Portal Pieces episode over there, but please spread the word if you wouldn't mind helping us out. But it would mean a great deal if those of you that are here would go over to the Paranormal Portal Pieces, subscribe, and spread the word about that, please. That would make a big difference. It would help us out a ton. So we're trying to get that to grow too, because it's a great opportunity to showcase the Paranormal Portal. Not everybody's going to invest 2 hours in a show that they're not familiar with, but the Paranormal Portal Pieces is meant to be meant to take chunks of those shows and put them out there in more bite-sized formats, so people know if they want to invest the time in the longer shows. So we hope you will help us do that, help us spread the word about that. And a special thank you to everybody that's here. We love that you guys come in and support the shows. It means the world to us. So we would love to have you keep coming back, keep spreading the word about this channel too, and watch for the podcasts. And by God, visit the t-shirt shop and sing the glory of the Paranormal Portal in the streets. If you would.
And subscribe and ring the bell and share.
Dance and sing and kiss babies and stuff. I don't know. But anyway, thank you all so much. Remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.